Hey everyone, welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be looking at the Nexus Permanent Art case. Now yes, some of you will think, oh no, not another Cool Monster 690-like case. Please don't do that. Rather say, ah nice, a new case with a nice and sleek design we all like. Yeah, this case has a very nice design. We can agree that it's not the most innovative probably, but it's still really nice. Anyways, this case is made out of steel, mesh and some plastic parts. It doesn't weigh that much and yeah, it's just a mid-sized tower case, so it has the normal size for a mid-sized tower case. On the front of the case we can find 4 or 5¼ inch drive bays, and one of these bays can also be used for a 3½ inch device. The front panel is made entirely out of mesh, but don't worry though, because there's a big dust filter behind it. And there's also dust filters behind each single drive bay cover. On the left side panel you can see the Nexus logo, which is stamped into it just like on the right side panel. And Nexus also added noise absorbing material on the inside of both side panels. Then at the top of the case we can find the power and reset button, 2 USB 2 ports, a USB 3 port, an eSATA port, the microphone and headphone jack, and also the hard drive activity LED as well as the power LED. By the way, lucky for the USB 3 port is that they added a direct connection to the motherboard. As you can see, they also included a hot swap bay right here, and they have this kind of protective thing on there right now. And this one can be used for 3½ inch devices and 2½ inch devices. And moving over more to the back of the top panel, you can find a lot more mesh, and underneath you can install 2 optional fans, being either 2 120mm fans or 2 140mm fans. And if I saw it correctly, you could actually do combinations as well, like let's say 1 120mm fan and 1 140mm fan. And also note that there are dust filters right there for those fans. But now, how do you get these installed? Let me quickly show you. In order to get these optional fans installed, you have to take off the top panel. But in order to take off the top panel, you must first take off the front panel. And you do that like this. You pull the bottom and it comes off easily. Then you can, by the way, also see the included 120mm intake fan at the front. And note that you can also install a second optional one right here, also a 120mm fan. Now to get the top panel off, you have to screw out these 2 screws here in the front and here 2 on the back. And as you can see, here's that dust filter, and you just take that off and then you can screw those fans in. Turning the case around, you can have a look at the rear of the case, where we can find the space for the motherboard's I/O shield, 3 ground-mounted holes for water cooling tubes to go through, for example. We can also find the pre-installed 120mm fan. A bit lower we can see the 8 expansion slots, which are tools, by the way. 2 more ground-mounted holes. I'm not really sure why they are there. They're not really big, so perhaps for cables or, you know, whatever you could route through there. And then underneath that there is some space for the ATX power supply. And then finally, for the exterior of the case, as always, let's have a look at the bottom, where we can find 4 rubberized feet and 2 dust filters in total, one for your power supply's intake fan and the second one for 2 optional fans on the bottom. Having a look at the inside of the case, we can see that it is all black, except for the fans that have white blades. On the motherboard tray you can see a cutout for the CPU cooler's retention plate, and also a good amount of cable management holes, and they are all practically grounded. The motherboard tray supports ATX and micro ATX motherboards. In the back of the case we can again see the included 120mm fan and the 8 toolless expansion slots, and you use them like this, just push here like that and it comes loose, and yeah, practically falls out. And installing something is very simple, just like that, and then push it, make sure that this here is secure, and that's it. And a bit lower we can find 4 rubber feet for the power supply to rest on between all these cables. Let me just put them aside for a second here, because otherwise they're going to be in the way. So yeah, again, you can see all the 4 feet right here. And there's also some noise absorbing material right here and here for in between it and the case. And there's also this Velcro strip that can help you keep the power supply in place. And then right here on the bottom, right next to the power supply, and the power supply is right here, so right here on the bottom, you can install an optional 120 or 140 millimeter fan. And I would suggest to use this fan as an intake fan. And note that there's a dust filter right here, and you actually saw this earlier. And then right here, you can see this little guy. So this is actually a little PCB where you can actually hook your power supply to this module connector right here, and then you can power up to 6 3-pin fans. So we have the front fan, which is already connected, but you can power up to 6 different fans with this one little PCB here. And if you want, I think this is the option they give you here, you can actually screw this out and mount it right here underneath your motherboard and above your power supply, and this will probably be good if you have a longer power supply. And now in the front of the case we can find the 4, 5 and a quarter inch drive bays, which are completely toolless. And yeah, you can actually see it right here, that's the tool design. And to install a drive, you simply slide in the drive and lock it like this. And then underneath this area there is a hard drive area where you can find room for up to 6 hard drives. And there are actually 2 hard drive cages here, and they are both removable. But first, installing a hard drive is very easy. You just take the hard drive cage, and then you take your hard drive, position your hard drive correctly, then open it, because you can, like, stretch it like this very easily, no problem at all. Just like this. Make sure the holes are all aligned correctly, push it all in, that's good, and that's it, and slides in like it's nothing at all. Now, as I said, the hard drive cages, these two here, are removable, but first you have to screw out a screw here and a screw there, well, at least one here for this compartment and one screw here for this cage, but also you have to screw out 2 screws on the other side. So let me do that quickly, and then I'm going to take out the hard drive cages and see what you can do with them. Now, alright, the screws are out, you can all see them right there, so it's 6 screws in total. And yeah, what you can do is very cool. You can actually take out this hard drive cage. It's a bit metal-ish though. It's a bit hard. And as you can see, the bottom one actually came loose with the other one, because they're both connected. But yeah, you can take out the top one, so you can install long graphics cards, but you can also take out the bottom one if you prefer. Of course, now you cannot really install a hard drive, but of course you can actually also just install the top one, and let me quickly do that. So there you go, it's a bit old school looking. So you have the top one only now, and what actually this allows you to do, let me take it out again. So what this allows you to do is install long graphics cards, but also you can take out this plastic part on the bottom. So what you can do now is also take out this plastic part here. But to do that, first you must take out the dust filter on the bottom, which is kind of a stupid work, so it's not very toolless there, it's a bit annoying. But yeah, you can take out this plastic part, and then you can install another fan. You can install another 140 or another 120 millimeter fan right here. And I think this also allows you to install a 240 millimeter red right here. So that's very cool. Also, this allows you, this helps you with easier installation for the fans right here. Now, the accessories that Nexus include are this 5 1/4 to 3.5 inch drive bay adapter, 2 zip ties, this little tool to help you install the motherboard standoffs. You get a lot of screws, you get extra standoffs, you get thumb screws for the 5 1/4 inch devices, you get hard drive screws to help you install more hard drives, and I forgot to note almost that in the hard drive cages you can also install 2.5 inch devices, so let's say an SSD for example. So yeah, you can install like 6 SSDs if you want, and those help you to screw those down. These help you to screw the SSDs down, and these help you to secure the hard drive which you install in the hard drive cage even more. And then also you've got some motherboard screws right here, and yeah, this little piece which you can, let me quickly show you. You can screw that in the case right here, and they include one little screw in the big bag for that, and then you can put the side panel on, and you can use a lock to secure your case. So this is good for LAN parties, for example. Alright, so as you can see, I've done the build in this case, and building a system in this case is very easy. There's pretty much no problems I ran into. Yeah, so basically I don't really have to say much about this, but let me just go over some things that I just find very good. First off, the cable management is pretty much perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, except maybe on the other side that, yeah, I'll show you, actually I'll show you the other side. But like on this side there's really nothing wrong, it's pretty much perfect, except if you have a longer power supply, like this one is a little bit longer than most ones, then you won't be able to use this cable management hole right here entirely. So I also use this one, but that's not really a problem, but you have to note that, yeah, that's one of the things that you can run into if you actually wanted to use this one. So yeah, remember that. But other than that, I didn't really spend too much time doing cable management. I didn't have any problems with it, so as you can see, in no time, in a few minutes, I just did what you can see here. Now I didn't use the little PCB down here because I didn't really think it was needed if you only have 2 fans installed. These are stock fans, by the way, and then I just installed them on the motherboard, and that actually saves cables, so there's less cables in the entire system. But let's have a look at the other side, because I don't think I have much more to say about this. Just perhaps just have a little look. Let's zoom in. You can see all the cables come out the grommet holes very nicely, and yeah, you get a really nice result here. Alright, so this is the other side of the motherboard tray, and as you can see, the cable management wasn't really a problem here. You have enough cable management holes, and they're grommeted, which is really nice. You have enough punch outs. These right here were really useful. You have enough here. Perhaps a few here could have been nice, but managed to do a cable management without needing many here, so that's alright. What else? Oh yeah, the problem I ran into is that the hard drive here, it seems to be positioned a bit more too much to this side of the case, so the connectors kind of touch the side panel, which isn't helping much when you try to put the side panel on the case. And I saw that they actually could have positioned the hard drive a bit more to that side of the case. So that's probably something they should change or think about in the future. But that's actually the only negative remark I have about this case when it comes down to building your computer in it. As you can see, there's also the cutout here, and you have enough room for your retention plate, so that's really nice as well. I didn't install the hot swap bay on my motherboard though, to save a little bit of cable, so actually there should have been one more cable between this entire mess for the Molex here, perhaps the Molex for the little PCB right there on the other side. But actually I think it would have been easy to route that if I could have let it come through, like underneath here. Could have let it go here, connected here, and that just, well, this one I could have easily connected to the motherboard over there. So actually, yeah, that could have been easily done. Now let's get to the overall conclusion and see what else I have to say about this case. Alright, and as an overall conclusion, I can say that I am very fond of this case. The overall design is very nice, looks very sleek, looks very sharp, so that's very nice. I really like it. Then there's dust filters everywhere where it's needed, so that's a plus. Installation is no problem, cable management is no problem. You got enough drive bays, you got enough space for hard drives, you have enough options for fans. It's all black, you know, that's part of the design again. You have USB 3 with a direct USB 3 connector. You know, you've got pretty much everything you need for a mid-sized tower case these days. A few remarks that I do have though is that if you want to clean out the dust filters, it's not going to be very easy for the bottom ones, because you have to like take them off, you know, but you have to turn around the case or something first, because it's not really easy to do if the case is standing up at all. And taking out the front panel, let me quickly show you guys this. Now it's standing on my desk, right? But I can't actually take it off, so I have to pull it up I have to pull out the case and then I can take it off. So those are a few details that are a bit annoying when you're trying to clean your dust filters. And then yeah, that one thing with the hard drives, that it was kind of a little detail as well. But I'm very glad to actually make this the very first case to get our Brilliant Award. I like it that much, yes I do. So yeah. Airflow, by the way, was also very good. I think I forgot to mention that the fans are they have very good airflow. They don't make too much noise, so airflow is very good in this case. And I would certainly consider buying this one if you're looking for a good case, because for the price it's also very good. So price quality plus right there. Alright, so our first Brilliant case, very cool. If you guys want to see the full list of pros and cons of this case, probably more pros than cons, go to our website where you can find them, and also don't forget to comment if you want, or like, and if you haven't yet, also subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And before I forget, thanks to Nexus for sponsoring us for this review, and again, see you guys in the next video.